Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing, and today delighted to get back on the channel. Conor Adaway, he's had 11 fights with 8 wins, 2 defeats with 1 draw. Yeah, how are you doing today, Conor?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. All good. All good. Just finished work, back to reality now. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean let's talk about. I mean you've been busy since I last spoke. You've been boxing all over, here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
Thailand as well. Had a couple fights over there. You know. Um, we'll start with Actually, I think yeah, you've had 4 fights since we last spoke because I believe I
It
got you
is,
one
yeah.
before the one in France against
Yeah,
that Joe Kalia who
yeah,
was 10-2, and you won by unanimous decision over 8 rounds.
yeah. Yeah, no, obviously with Joe, like I said, we've seen the opportunity there. And at the time he was massively ranked above me in the wild rankings. I think he was something like 400 or 500 places above me in the rankings. And as for what like it's such a good opportunity to take. And yeah, I made sure I didn't get any stitch ups over there. I had a good performance out there. I'm just gutted there's no footage of it.
Yeah, I mean, talk us sort of through the fight. I mean, UD as well over in France against the home fighter in Joe Kalia. He's a good fighter as well to get the win over.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I it was my first real fight away from home, and I sort of knew that it was going to be hard to get the decision. So from the first hour to the last, I was so busy, and I literally made sure the judges couldn't take it for me. I was trying to knock him out from round one. Although I didn't get the knockout, I every round I feel like I rubber stamped, you know. So yeah, it was great to go out there and get the right decision, you know. Although I believe I won every round. I think two of the judges give
Two
him
rounds.
2 rounds. Yeah, I don't know what rounds they would have given him, but that's what it is away from home. You know how it is.
But you got the UD, which is
Yeah, yeah.
good. How was it ran over in France?
Well, it's funny. It was actually in a Sorry, my dog's making noises. It was actually in a gym or like just like a. It was actually on an amateur show, and I was the only pro fight on the show. I was the main event. But yeah, a lot of it was amateur boxing, and yeah, like I said, I was the main event. So it was different and it was cool, and I kind of liked it because it sort of like took me back to my amateur days. I shared a changing room with like a bunch of amateurs, and obviously they had round fights, 3 minutes, and I was the only 8 rounder on the card. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was a good experience.
Yeah, and got the job done,
Got the job done.
and then you fought in November against Nimru Bannock. Probably said that completely wrong.
Yeah,
Over
Balnook,
in
Niran Balnook, I think his name is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
over in Thailand, 4th round stoppage. So how good was it to get a stoppage? You haven't had one for quite a while before.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean it was good.
that one
Um
was shown. That I remember watching that one.
yeah, like he was one of them. It was a bit of an unknown thing for me because it was my first fight in Asia, and these Thai fighters are so tough, and I sparred a few out there, and I know how tough they are. So I was a bit wary of him at the beginning. It took me a while to get my rhythm, and I was a bit disappointed with the stoppage. I think the referee might have jumped in a little bit early, but I felt like I was just finding my rhythm, and I feel like no matter what, the stoppage would have came. Um, but I kind of wanted to have a more conclusive knockout, you know. But yeah,
The stoppage
nonetheless, it
is
was.
the stoppage, though, isn't
So
it?
yeah, of course, and like I think the referee seen that there was levels between us both, and yeah, I think he saved him for another day, really. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was
and
fast. It was amazing.
yeah, that was a good performance as well from yourself in that fight.
Thank you.
And then you fought over in it was sort of in yeah, it was again in Thailand. It was at
Yeah,
a gym. I was watching it
yeah,
before I went to school. I had it on my phone watching it. And yeah, you boxed that Majid. It was for a belt, and you lost by unanimous decision. Talk about that fight, a fight which personally I thought you won.
yeah. I mean, it was one of them. I wasn't too happy with my performance. I do believe I won the fight, and Majid, he was very unknown. He came from a kickboxing background and an MMA background. He's fought at a high level in MMA, but as a boxer, well, to be fair, he did knock out a former world title challenger on his pro debut. Do you know what I mean? So he was a tough guy, and he hit very hard. But for the first half of the fight, I feel like I completely dominated. If I'm honest, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I,
you were in control. You were using your jab. You were boxing smart, boxing
yeah,
well. You know, because you
yeah,
knew that he had you knew that he was like a big hitter, so you were using your
yeah.
reach quite well in the fight.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, I don't think I barely got caught very much throughout the first 5, 6 rounds, and then something weird happened in round five. The referee comes to our corner. I've never had this before in my life. He comes to the corner, and he says, "No more running." And me and my coach, we looked at each other and we thought, what does he mean? What does he mean? No more running. I'm boxing. I'm boxing clever. I'm not getting it. I'm tagging him when I can, and I'm getting the job done. And if I'm honest, it completely threw us off. We sort of like we looked at each other and said like the fix is on. Like they're not liking the nice boxing. They're gonna stitch
What
us
were
up
you
here.
thinking though in that moment when he said that? Was there a bit of panic or no?
There was slight panic to think that that I might be down on points. I'm thinking that right, we're in Thailand. Thai in Thailand, I feel like they like aggression.
Mm.
Because of all the Muay Thai and things like that. So in my head, I was thinking, right, I could be down here. Although I've in England, if this was in England, I know I would won every round here.
Mm.
But because he was attacking and I was counterboxing, um, in my head they didn't like it. So from round six, I sort of had to change it up and go with him a little bit, which played right into his hands,
Well,
really.
but if you've continued how you were, what do you think do you think the ref would have took a point off or?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but a little bit of panic did set in, and it's hard when you've only got a minute to sort of work out what you're gonna do. Like we didn't expect the referee to say that, you know, and the fact that he did, it kind of like it did mess the game plan up completely. We had to sort of stand and trade with him, and that's obviously that's not my game for one, but really, apart from round eight, I feel like I went with him quite well, you know, and I give myself 7 rounds, and the first 5 rounds, I don't think I dropped a round. I could have maybe given him round six. I think I give myself round seven. He obviously
Yeah.
won round eight. He obviously won round eight because he
But
got the
even
knockdown.
when you were trading with him, you still had good success as well, and arguably still took some of the rounds where you were standing in the middle
Yeah,
with him.
like I mean, round nine, I almost had him out there myself. You know.
Yeah, that's why they cut the stream out before
I know,
round 10.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
What happened in
And
that round?
he I caught him with a left hook. And then he went on wobbly legs. Then I pressured him, and so we sort of both tumbled, and then it was the end of the round. I didn't really have much time to do much else. But
Do you think you won that 10th as well, though?
the 10th was close. I think I was winning up until the last 20 seconds, and then he caught me with a nice body shot. That sort of like was obvious. He caught me with a nice body shot, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but again, apart from that one moment, I probably won pretty much all the rounds. So really, yeah, I could give him 3 rounds, including the round with the knockdown.
yeah.
But the rest of the fight, I feel like I dominated, and
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it's such a
I
shame.
had 6-3. I didn't get to see the last round because they cut it off, but with the
Yeah, but
knockdown as well, made it a little
yeah,
bit closer. But I still thought you were up.
well, that's what I mean. Say if I win 6 out of the 10 rounds, I still win by a point, even with the knockdown. I should win the fight 95-94. So I thought it was a pretty easy fight to score, and I just don't think it made sense at all for him to get the decision. Um,
Because
but
the
yeah,
rounds you won were clear,
yeah, yeah, they were.
especially early doors as well. Like the first, I think it was four. I can't remember. It was either
Yeah,
four.
first
I
four
think
or 5 rounds. I don't. It was
it was
round six when it
clear.
started to uh, go a bit worse for me. But at the same time, like, I don't think it was my best performance. I'm not saying. I think I was a bit wary of him because he was a bit of an unknown like quantity. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know much about him. The only fight I've ever seen him in a boxing match, he was knocking out a former world title challenger. So it was kind of I didn't know what to expect from him, but. Yeah, it's one of them. Like the experience has done me good either way, and like I got a 10 round fight in 35-degree heat out there. It was an outside event, and
It was.
yeah,
I
going.
think it was at the last question about this fight, but it was sort. It looked like it was sort of like it was like in a gym, wasn't it? Like like a
It was
training
a
gym.
gym. It was a gym, but like it was one of them gyms with like a tin roof, so it was absolutely baking. It was so hot, and I mean, I was only out there for 2 weeks, so I think a little bit of heat exhaustion played a part in the fight itself. Like for
What
example,
time?
when I went down,
What's the time difference over there?
I think 7 hours in Thailand. It's 7 hours ahead.
So what time were
Um,
you fighting? Because you fought about 8 over here.
Yeah, I think it was about three o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Between that sort of time, I can't really remember, but it was peak like heat of the day. It was so hot. It was like I didn't really have a warm up. It was something I've never experienced before in my life. But
But
I was
it's
shown that
another pardon.
I was shown that I can dig deep. That's one thing it did teach me. That I have the ability to get up off the floor and dig deep, and I think that will hand me it will hold me in good stead going forward. Say if it gets tougher now, I know I can handle it.
Yeah, 100%. And as same with this the Juma fight we're going to speak about now. But that fight, is worthy of a rematch as well. This one that you had
Yeah,
in
definitely,
February.
definitely. I mean, I know I've got his number next time. To be honest with you, I went in maybe a little bit low on confidence after the whole Thailand situation, and kind of I wanted to roll the dice, but didn't know what to expect. And by the end of but I was just growing in confidence as it went on in there. Like I'm annoyed with myself. The only thing I'm not upset with the decision. I think a draw is probably it could be fair. I think if it was in England, I think I would have got it. Um, but I can't argue with a draw. But I just felt myself growing in confidence in there, and a six rounds isn't enough for me. I had so much more in the tank after, and I could feel him starting to fade. Like the power from his punches would go in. I
Yeah.
could see it in his I could just see it in his eyes that he wasn't all there. Like he was like
Yeah, that
he was getting
round, I
tired.
think it was round 5 or 6, where you hurt him
Yeah.
in that round. But yeah, I did score. I thought a draw was fair, but it was one of those which was quite close.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. Like, if you listen to it with the commentary, you're going to score it a draw all day long. You probably score it to him winning the fight. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought the commentary was shocking.
Yeah, they
Um,
were a bit biased, but
yeah,
he is their sort of fighter, and he's their
exactly, and
boy.
that's I know how the game works. I'm not stupid. I've come to expect that from now on.
Yeah, because you have
But
taken quite a few away fights.
exactly, and I, the thing is, it's one of them. I know I've got his number next time, and I know over 8 to 10 rounds, I know I can. And what the problem was, right, is they dropped it from an 8 rounder to a 6 rounder,
What the Juma
and
fight?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be an 8 rounder. They dropped it to a 6 rounder, but I'm an 8 to 10 round fighter, and but the problem from my perspective is why I'm disappointing myself is I still fought a 6 round fight as if it was a 10 rounder. Like I didn't have that injection of pace, I still like it was like I was fighting a 10 rounder, but I only had 6 rounds to get the job done. So my work rate could have been a lot higher. But that's just because I've been training 8 to 10 rounds. That's what I've been sparring. I've been
Wait, so
conserving my energy.
when did they change that?
Just within the last couple of days, and it was one of them where because I was cutting weight, I just sort of like I couldn't be bothered to argue it. Like I was like uh, like the fight got cancelled. The fight was cancelled, and then it got put back on about 2.5 weeks later. So I only had 2.5 weeks to make the weight.
Ah.
Um, and then I ended the last 2 weeks of training. It became more about making the weight than the actual training itself. So there was a few problems like going into it, which I wasn't happy with. That I feel did contribute to the fight ending in a draw. And I feel like next time if I get a proper 8 week camp, I feel like the fight will be a complete different fight. I don't think it'll be close at all.
And again, he was another unbeaten prospect. He's got good ranking as well.
Yeah,
He's a good fighter, Juma.
yeah,
Close
yeah.
fight. He milked his ring walk though a little bit,
He
didn't he?
did, he did, he did. Yeah, I loved it.
But
I was loving it. I loved his ring walk, but I mean, like he's a Commonwealth bronze medalist. You know, he ain't a mug. You know, he's a good fighter. Like you said, he was undefeated, and yeah. But going into the next one, if we could get the rematch on, I'm fully confident I could get the job done.
yeah, because they put the promotion put out a post saying, "Oh, who would want to see the rematch?" And everyone, even in the comments, everywhere's his lot want to see it again.
Yeah,
Loads of
yeah.
people over here want to see it. Maybe in the UK this time.
Maybe we'll see. I doubt they'll come. I know for a fact they don't want the rematch straight away. I think they want to get one more in before they fight me, and I think that's wise from their perspective. But if it was up to me, I'd fight him next week. You know.
Yeah. Why did at the end of the fight when he was just doing the interview, did you not want to go in the interview with him or no?
I'm not too sure. If I'm honest, I didn't really get offered the interview, so I sort of just I think because he was the home fighter, he got an interview and I didn't. But that beats me. I'm not fussed about doing the interview in the ring. I just want to get the job done and get home. You know.
Yeah, and as well, you boxed. I mentioned, you've boxed in Thailand, you boxed in France, now Netherlands as well. How that arena was. I was saying sort of reminded me of your call a little bit in a certain way, but it's not your call.
It was weird. It was all like scaffolding. It's all
Yeah, it was
it's all purpose
strange,
built.
isn't it?
It was built for this event, and there's going to be a few other events, not just boxing. There's going to be an MMA event, and um, I think it's like they do like tennis there. They do like all kinds of things, but then it will stay up for 2 weeks, and then they'll take it all down and move it somewhere else in Europe. So it's yeah, it was different. It was so different, but it was cool. It was the first time I've really walked out into an arena. I had sort of like goosebumps, you know, like
It
it was
did
cool.
look different, but it looked like a decent setup though, didn't it?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. Oh, the setup. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And there was some big names there. Peter Fury was there because he had
Krades was it? Who was
yeah,
fighting?
yeah, he had him on. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was good to watch. And yeah,
Well, did you stick around after your fight and watch the rest of it?
yeah, we watched. I watched. I didn't watch the fight after me, but
Yeah.
I watched the main event, and yeah, it was brilliant. He had a really good knockout.
Yeah. So do you feel like you were robbed in that fight? Because I've seen a few people saying it was a robbery, but
Uh,
it was a close. I mean, you couldn't have argued if it went your way or his way.
no,
It was a close. It was one close
I think a
fight.
robbery. I think a robbery is a strong word. I wouldn't say it was a robbery, but the thing is, like, when you go into someone's backyard, you know you've got to really like dominate. You know you got to show that you got to rip it from them. You know you got to rip the victory from them, and I don't feel like I've done that. That's the only disappointment I have in myself is that I don't feel like I left everything in the ring. Um, but that's just a lesson for next time, you know. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it was a robbery. I think if it was in England, I think I would have got the decision, and I think on the night a draw, it could have been fair, but I don't think there was a case for him to win. But I feel like there was a case for me to win, but I wouldn't say it was a robbery. No,
And am I right in saying that the Juma fight was at super bantamweight?
super bantamweight, yeah,
And
yeah.
how would you compare Juma to that guy you fought in February, Majid?
Completely different. And like Juma's probably a much better boxer. But Majid's probably he's a fighting man. You know, he's a much better fighter. It may not be a boxer, but he's a much better fighter, and he's tougher and stronger. You know, completely different styles. The thing with Majid, it was like because he come from a kickboxing background, it was so awkward. It was so different. You know, it's hard to get my timing on him, but. I feel like I'll fight to the level I'm in with, and I think the performance against Juma was good, but yeah, it'll definitely be a better next time.
Yeah, so I mean, you have been quite active this year so far. With the two fights. I mean, even last year, I thought after that Luke Fash fight, you getting quite active. I mean, November, then February, then June, and now you've got another one penciled in. Is it in July? Isn't it? This one? Oh,
August
August.
next. Yeah,
So a bit of a longer training camp in between fights.
yeah. I actually get well now. The contract's done on this one. It's set in stone that it's happening. Providing no one gets injured. So I've got a good 8 week camp to prepare for this one. So and then really it's the fight of my life. Really, it's going out to America and for the first time, and it's a dream come true. Going to America. I'm fighting at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I grab this one with both hands.
Oh yeah, so it's another new country as well. Is it about, this year, of course, and last year you were taking opportunities outside of the UK? Is it that not many opportunities were coming up in the UK or
Yeah, I mean, there's not really. Um, I feel like people in the UK know me, and it's I'm kind of a danger man for 'em. And I feel like I don't want to sell tickets anymore. That's not what I want to do. I want to be in big fights, and I'll sell tickets for the big fights, But it just wasn't coming for me in the UK. Whereas in Europe and around the world, I'm not known, So people will take me on and give me the chance to fight. So yeah, I think at the minute it's just take these fights away from home. Um, but potentially a homecoming this year. Who knows? Who knows? Depends what opportunities come along.
are you still would you still want that Southern area, the English title if it came about? I mean, you did box for the title against Majid.
Hmm.
What belt was that?
That's the Asian Boxing Federation belt I boxed for.
Would you
Um,
try and get that again? Like get another shot?
potentially. I mean, I've got friends out in Thailand, and there is opportunities for me to go back out there, and it's not out of the question. It's just for now. I've got other stuff in the pipeline, and like I've got good earning potential elsewhere, But if the fact of the matter is, I'm not planning on losing these fights. I'm really coming to win them, and I believe I can get results at super bantamweight. I feel like I'll get results away from home, and if the opportunity comes for me to go back over to Asia and box for a title, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah. And yeah, you we briefly mentioned your fight in America. Go into a bit more detail about your opponent. Briefly scan through your opponent's record. Looks like another tough fight for you over in America. It's what dreams are made of, You're boxing
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere now, all across the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you like, sort of. Yeah, I know. Like people grow up and you dream of being like a world champion and things like that. But as time goes on, certain things happen. Like my career has been up and down through COVID and a bit of inactivity and things like that. I'm 27 now, and I just want to take the best opportunities that are suited to me, and I believe this one. I think this is a big opportunity. If I can go out and make a name for myself out in America, you never know what might happen.
And yeah, right. He's and how many rounds is this fight scheduled for at the moment?
This is an 8 round fight. It's signed as for an 8 round fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think he's got a good amount of experience. So I believe it. I think they dropped the Fasil in the Fasil fight. I believe they dropped the because he wasn't as experienced. Whereas this guy, I mean, he's had I think there's 17 pro fights, so he's got the experience. So it's going to be an 8 rounder. If it was up to me, I'd do 10. But yeah, it is going to be an 8 rounder.
Yeah, he's 15-2 with 8 knockouts. Yeah, so another hard hitter by the looks of
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that you're going in with. I mean, have you been straight back in the gym after that Juma fight?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is what I mean. This is why, again, while I'm disappointed, like because I feel like I haven't really had a fight. I feel like I can go. I'm fresh. I could box next week if I wanted to. So yeah, I'm straight back in the gym. I'm not pushing it too hard at the minute. I'm just taking over right now, and then maybe the last 4 weeks I'll pick it up.
Yeah, what show is that you're boxing on over in America, or do you not know the promotion?
I've completely forgot the name of the promotions, if I'm honest with you, mate. But what's it called? No, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure of the name of the promotion, but I know it's all I know is at the Hard Rock Casino, and it's in Atlantic City, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, sounds good. So have you been? Yeah, so when you're over in when you were over in Thailand, when you're over in the Netherlands, how sparring different? Well, how different is it compared to when you've been sparring here in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't spar all that much, but it is intense, and Um, Although technically they're not the most gifted boxers in the world, I mean they can take a hit and they're tough and they're used to the heat, whereas I'm not used to the heat, you know. So you have to dig deep in there, and yeah, it is a really good experience training out in Thailand. I think the training side of things, I think it's the best thing I've ever done was to train in Thailand. When I got back to the UK, like I felt like a different animal to be honest, because I went back. I went out to Thailand last year. I went for 4 weeks, and I didn't end up fighting, but I went for 4 weeks and I trained every single day. But when I got back to England, I just felt like a different animal. So
Wait, was
yeah,
that
it is.
before the fight in November?
That was before. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a month's training out there in May last year, and I went out there for a month, and yeah, the training was yeah, it was ridiculously hot, as you can imagine. And then you come back to England, and it's not nowhere near as bad. I'd love to do a training camp out there, and then come have a fight in England. That's something I would love to do.
Yeah. But yeah, one fight at a time, as you say.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, surely with the amount of 50-50s you're fighting and the good fighters from all over in different countries, Thailand, Netherlands, France, and now America, hopefully, it can soon position you into maybe a fight for maybe an international belt or a global title.
100%, 100%. All it takes is one big win, and then that can put me in an amazing position. I mean, I've just come off a draw to an undefeated fighter. I think that's put me in a good position. But yeah, wins are what count. And this next one, I'm planning on getting a big win to get me in position for them titles.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, before I let you go, Connor, I'll let you thank the usual people, shout anyone out at all.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for the support. As always, it's not been hard. It's not been easy for me, should I say? But I feel like this year is going to be a massive year, and I'm gonna for Plymouth. I think I'm going to do big things, and I just want to thank all my sponsors and my coaches and everyone who supports me.
Yeah, 100%. And from me, as always, a big thank you for your time and well
No
done
problem.
against Juma the other day.
Thank you, Sam, mate. Appreciate it, bud.
Thank you, mate. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.